Many could argue that Nigeria has made noticeable progress in its achievement of the 6th Millennium Development Goal, especially with regards to HIV prevalence. In 2001, the prevalence rate was 5.8%. This declined to 5.0% in 2003 and further fell to 4.4% in 2005. A report by the MDG office shows that although prevalence rates are generally higher in rural areas, the prevalence rate is highest among unmarried people, commercial sex workers, and long-distance drivers.
4.6% of Nigerians, not of Nigerians now, of those in the reproductive age group, okay? Those in the reproductive age group are positive, according to the last one we did in 2008.
The fight against the disease has been a tough one in Nigeria. A National Action Committee on AIDS was established in February 2000 to coordinate the various activities of HIV and AIDS in the country. With a population of almost 150 million people, Nigeria has reported a HIV prevalence of 5.8% in the sub-Saharan African region. This figure has since fallen to 4.4% as of 2005. The trend is further encouraged by the collaboration between the MDG office and the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, which along with other health institutions are believed to be winning the war against the virus. The story of 35-year-old Edward Ogenyi says it all. Edward is married with 5 children. 15 years ago, he was diagnosed HIV positive.
If a person tests positive to HIV, there is just this common experience. Yes, you are shocked, you are in the stage of denial, you don't even believe that the test results is correct. You move from one health facility to the other until when you move from that at that stage, you don't even believe. In fact, everybody you see on the road and whatever is like is your enemy and the rest of them. But at a point in time, you come to a stage of what we describe as acceptance, when you begin to know that, yes, it is really the reality. It is the reality, and especially if you have the opportunity and interaction in terms of counseling, it will bring you to the reality that, yes, HIV is there and anybody can test positive to HIV. Again, if you test positive to HIV, what are you expected to do and the rest of them? So it is an experience of denial, an experience of fear, loss of hope, and the rest of them. But with time, individuals tend to overcome such fears.
At the time of this sad revelation, Edward realized that his life and that of his family would change as a result of people's perception of those living with the virus. However, he was determined not to let those notions affect him, and despite the early challenges of life with the disease, Edward was able to make positive changes during those challenging years. Today, he is the chairman of the Association of People Living with HIV and AIDS in Nigeria.
The network is the national umbrella body that coordinates the programs and activities of people living with HIV and AIDS in the country. For me, it was characterized by unbelief. No, you cannot be living with HIV and be looking very healthy. And again, I'm a breadwinner and a champion in the Nigerian society as far as fighting HIV and AIDS is concerned. So for me, I support people, I help people, I bring hope to people and the rest of them. So with that, the way God has placed me in the society is such that people, as a matter of fact, come to me for different kind of support. And again, that alone is such that you cannot use my own experience to generalize, because the issue of isolation, denial, I don't experience that. And that probably because of my own background as a person.
With funds provided by the MDG office, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS is able to support associations of people living with the disease. In most instances, they give financial support that will assist them to set up a small-scale business. In 2002, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS started a program to prevent mother-to-child transmission. Despite the efforts to strengthen PMTCT intervention, by 2007, only 5.3% of HIV women were receiving antiretroviral drugs to reduce the risk of mother-to-child transmission. This figure has since risen to 22% by 2010.
People can now come out to say we are positive. It's like any other disease. It's like malaria. And believe you me, it is like malaria. If people are diagnosed early and placed on treatment, as a doctor, I have people who've been treating for more than 10 years now. They look healthier. When you see them, they look healthier more than any other person. So why can't they stay? They will survive like any other person.
Nigeria
has 30% of the global burden for prevention of mother to child. In this country, we still have significant numbers of children, women who are positive transmitting HIV to their children. That is a big, big, big challenge for us because we know how to do it. We have the technology to completely interrupt transmission. So why should we allow such numbers of children, to have HIV from their mothers? That's a big challenge.
Mother-to-child transmission. Coverage of that is what we've increased this year by making money available to NACA to do its advocacy work there and to provide treatment for pregnant women.
Significant support have been coming from the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President for HIV/AIDS control. Especially there is this support for procurement of HIV/AIDS, MDG's branded ARVs and test kits that are being used for testing and retesting of HIV positive patients.
While the agency is still fighting to prevent the mother-to-child transmission, it is also intensifying its efforts to reduce stigmatization. Stigmatization of persons living with HIV/AIDS remain a big problem in Nigeria. This has been attributed to a lack of information and cultural beliefs about the disease.
Some few years back, there had been a lot of effort and concern in combating the scourge and burden of HIV. Nigeria has been ranked number 3 among the 15 HIV burden countries. At present, we have about more than 2 million cases of HIV/AIDS. The number of people that were supposed to to be treated with antiretroviral drugs are about 600,000. But as I'm talking to you, only about 300,000 cases of those with HIV/AIDS are accessing the ART services. That is one of the major challenges we are having.
Stigma has been one of the major reasons for the spread of HIV, just like you said. Stigma is also the reason why many people will not come for testing. Stigma is the reason why people who even test will get their result. Stigma is the reason why people who get their result will not go for treatment. Stigma is the reason why even those who are on treatment will not, adhere to their drugs. So stigma, it's a major, major issue. And as you know, even in the workplace, stigma has a huge role to play. What are we doing? I think the first thing is to understand that the way HIV has played out, it has reduced a lot of stigma. I know that 10 years ago, HIV was like a death sentence, but it's not so now. There are lots of people walking around living a normal life with HIV. So, in a way, even the advent of drugs has changed, the landscape as far as, stigma is concerned.
In the past, that has been the situation where people withdraw from the society, deny, they don't want to associate with other people because they found themselves to be HIV positive. But because we have come a very long way, today we have a strong network which represents the interests of people living with HIV and AIDS in Nigeria. Today, I'm telling you that even in terms of civic right and political participation, we are galvanizing the support of members of the network, and we want to deliver a block vote of 150,000 for people living with HIV and AIDS, because in the past it has been a situation of apathy, but we don't want that situation again, because we know that with the availability of drugs, there are hope. You cannot even estimate or say a person living with HIV can live so number of years. He can live as much as God wants the person to live.